delve into his inspiring story and revolutionary vision for the future. Please, let's give him a big warm round of applause.
All righty. Welcome, beautiful people, wherever you are calling in from. I just want to welcome you into tonight's call, whether you're here on Zoom or Facebook or LinkedIn or one of the other platforms that we're streaming on. Welcome to our overview call for Divinfi. I'm super excited, super jacked up, just like I am every single day. Things are just literally happening at light freaking speed, and that's just what we do here at Divinfi. So I'm honored and privileged to be your host today. My name is Sam Hidja, and I'm gonna be sharing some information with you. So, I remember it's just insane to see the progression over the last 10, 12 years personally for me in my journey, and then being aligned with some amazing leaders like Jamie and Will and the people that are here on this call like yourself, who are really the trailblazers of this new ecosystem. It's absolutely amazing, and it's really never been done. And so I'm super excited to share this info with you. If you've never seen this information, you know, um, you're in for a treat. You're in for a treat. I gotta say that even though I am on the executive team, I truly have never seen something like this been put together in such a way that's here to help impact the everyday person. And not only the everyday person, because our ultimate goal is to really create freedom for the entire world, but it starts right here. It starts with you and I, our families, our communities, and then eventually the world. And so I'm super excited for what we have going on. And so I get the honor and privilege, like I said, to share this info. So I want to welcome you to the biggest launch in history, Divinfi, your freedom ecosystem. We are going to be talking about a couple of different things, whether it comes to investing, residual income, the emotional freedom, and just how to create freedom in every aspect of the word. And so, before I get into that, I just want to share with you a little bit about how I got started in this industry. It was almost 12 years ago where I was actually working for myself. I was a self-employed business owner. I was fresh in the industry of the car business. I had just left my job. That was my last job. I was at the age of 18. I'm 30 years younger right now. And so getting into that industry, I did pretty well for myself to, as an 18-year young man. And so after that whole experience, I started to see what was possible, but only it was just really the tip of the iceberg. And then I got introduced to some people that had been doing it for, a couple of decades. One of my mentors, I've had several mentors. That was one of the things I think I did right. I did a lot of things wrong, but one of the things that I did right was surrounding myself with individuals that had what I wanted, whether in terms of business, freedom, marriage, whatever it was. I knew that if I wanted to get different results, I needed to surround myself with people that already had them. And one of my mentors said this to me, and I never forgot it. And it's so simple yet so profound. And I hope that you're listening. It is your mind works best if it's open. It's very similar to a parachute. If you have a closed mind, you're going to miss out on 99.99% of opportunities that come your way because you're going to think that it's too good to be true. So my only advice to you is not to judge the information you see here today. It's to just have an open mind and make a decision at the end of this call, whether it's for you or whether it's not. Just make the decision and then go all in. So without further ado, let's get into the info. So before we get into it, we are going to be talking about investing. And when it comes to investing, obviously there's always risk. And so to make sure that the lawyers are happy, I'm going to read this risk disclosure. So past performance is not indicative of future results. Diversification does not eliminate the risk of loss. And the information provided is reliable, but is not guaranteed. And it is for information purposes only. It is not investment advice. You are an adult, so you have the ability to make a decision whether or not you want to be in it. And it doesn't matter how well something's done in the past, there's no guarantee that it's going to do well in the future. So, what is our vision here? Our vision here at Divinfi is to create an ecosystem that brings freedom to all 8 billion people here on Earth. I know that sounds crazy, but the thing is the people that are crazy are the ones that actually change the world. And so we want to bring financial, time, location, and emotional freedom. And it starts, like I said, right here, right now with you and I, then our families, our communities, and then eventually the world. So a little bit about us. We're based here in Dubai, which is an absolutely beautiful city. It is ran by entrepreneurs, not politicians, which is why we chose it, because they allow us to do things that are innovative and push the leading edge. I heard this quote once, maybe over 10 years ago. It's like an entrepreneur is someone that jumps off of the cliff and then builds the airplane on the way down. And that's exactly what they did with Dubai. They wanted it to be a huge city that a lot of people from all around the world would be coming to. They didn't the leader of the city didn't know how it was going to happen, but he had a vision, a depth of vision, and that's exactly in alignment with where we are at Divinfi. And boy, do I have some stories for you. Will, the COO, he's here on the call, and we were just talking about this yesterday. We had like a little slight hiccup, but we knew that we were going to get it done. And then today, not even 6 hours later, it got solved. And it's just this massive solution to so many things. And I'm excited to share this with you all today. So let's talk about what do we offer here at Divinfi. Like I said, we're your freedom ecosystem, helping you create freedom in every sense of the word. So we start off with education because it is all about educating ourselves and educating our communities and our families. And so we start off with the wealth secrets that the rich teach that they, quote unquote, don't want you to know. This is exactly what we should have learned in school, but instead they taught us the Pythagorean theorem, the hypotenuse of a triangle. They taught us, all of these things that we didn't really need. I know I picking on math. I never really liked math like that, so that's why I mean I'm sure some of you probably use it that are watching this, but for the most part, we're not using a lot of the things that we learned in school. What we should have been learning is exactly here in this Incomeversity library. And so the way that it works is we have a Money Monday, Wealthy Wednesday, and Financial Friday. And when you go through this information, this like educational platform, it's going to help you break free from the cycle of jobs. And jobs just stand for a JOB, which means, or it's an acronym for just over broke, right? Working and getting and just literally living from paycheck to paycheck, having way too much month at the end of the money. I've been there, I've done that, I know exactly how it is. And if you love what you do, that's great. Keep doing what you're doing. We're not telling you not to do that, but what we are saying is that there are several different ways to generate income and to create freedom. So let's get that money piece out of the way so you can do what you truly love. And so this is super exciting. Like I said, we have our Money Mondays, Wealthy Wednesdays, Financial Fridays. It's going to be shifting from 8 p.m. Dubai time to actually 7 a.m. Dubai time. And it'll be a live call. And then it will be recorded and edited by our media team and then put into the library. So that will be there for your review. Now, next product. Our next product is called the Divinfi banking app. Okay, so this app, this bank allows you to spend and send both cryptocurrency, the top 45 cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, XRP, whatever, and the main fiat currencies, which is like the US dollar, the euro, the pound, so on and so forth. So you can both send and spend it, and you have your own international bank card. So no matter where you go in the world, just as long as they accept Visa card, you can spend and send your cryptocurrency and your fiat currencies. The only restrictions are if you are in a sanctioned country like Russia or Iran or the North Koreas of the world. Sorry, we just can't do it. But we could definitely figure something out for you guys. But everywhere else, we're 100% good to go. Now, here are some of our licenses that allow us to do this and issue these cards. If you care about it, there they are, 1 through 6. Take a picture. Not going to spend too much time on that. Now, we have this Divinfi Swiss fund. It's just a hedge fund from Switzerland. And I'm not going to even spend too much time on this. Just know that these are big boys. They manage billions of dollars. And they use 40% algorithms, 20% AI, and 40% manual trading. And here's their results. Since 2020, they did 499.56%, which is absolutely amazing. And then in April 2024, they did 5.22%. And just to talk a little bit about the state of the world and where we are and why investing is extremely, extremely important. This is not investment advice. Whether you go here and you invest your money here or you go and do your own thing, this is something important to know is that the state of the world is not looking too hot. Okay, if you look at Argentina, I mean, right now they're actually at the lowest levels of interest rates, but for the longest, they were, I mean, they're still, I think they did 8% inflation last month, which is still really bad. But before it was like hundreds and hundreds of percent inflation. Their currency was literally worth nothing. So, and that's like probably one of the worst cases. But you look at, for example, the US, and the US is a very important place to look at because what happens there affects the entirety of the world. So you look at the currency of the US, which is the US dollar, which every other currency is pegged to. Every other currency is pegged to the US dollar. The US dollar is losing 1% from month to month to month to month. So from June 2023 to June 2024, the US dollar, due to inflation, has lost about 12% purchasing power. So the only solution is to invest your money because having it sit in a bank account, it's automatically losing its worth. And if you just let it sit in a savings account, sure, they might give you what 1% a year, but that doesn't cover even 1 month worth of inflation. So the only solution is to find a vehicle or vehicles that allows your money to grow month to month to month. So 5.22%, that's literally 5 times what the bank is going to give you over the course of 1 year. So these guys, like I said, they're big boys. They're trading billions of dollars. Their minimum average account, or if you wanted to work with them directly, like you found this specific hedge fund and you're like, hey, I want to work with you to get directly. I don't want to work with Divinfi. You would have to put $200,000 minimum. So what we did is we put up the 200,000, we became the bridge for the everyday retail investor. Instead of putting 200,000, you could put a minimum of $500 deposit. Pretty freaking awesome if you ask me. Now let's talk about some of the other projects and the other products. So we have a broker service. I'm not going to talk about this. We have the crypto fund. The crypto fund, I would say, is a step forward from the Swiss fund. It's ran by Josh, and it is dealing in the crypto markets. So Josh essentially has done about, in 2020, he did 8,000% return. He took 20,000 to over $1 million within a couple of months by utilizing and purchasing certain coins in the gaming and the AI space. He just holds the projects, and once it gets to the top of the market, he sells them. That's how he trades. He's not doing day trading. He's not like constantly trading the coins. He just buys real life use case scenario coins, and he'll hold them and then sell them. And so that's what he did in 2024. He opened up a fund, and he came to Divinfi and he asked for $50,000 as a minimum investment. We gave him 150,000, and since then he's more than doubled the account. So it's over 100% to 120%, more like 110 to 120. And he's talking about, on a conservative note, by the end of 2024, he'll do about 500 to 1,000% return, which is absolutely amazing. And the way that this is set up, like I said, he buys the coins, and at the top of the market, he sells them off. So right now, Bitcoin is anywhere between 65,000 and like 72,000, just consolidating. So once Bitcoin, because when Bitcoin hits certain levels, then the rest of the market will follow. Once it hits an $80,000 Bitcoin, Josh will be closing out this fund. So if you're not in it, then definitely get into it. And yeah, nothing much more to say. It's just one of those things that you either you take the risk and you invest or you don't. Now, the next program slash product is the transformational program with Mr. Don Smith. And so this is absolutely legendary. You know, if you've been a part of different network marketing companies, you know how important personal development is. They always say that network marketing is simply it's personal development with a compensation plan. The more you develop yourself as an individual, the more you get paid. And so I've been in the industry for about 12 years, like I said, and I really took that to heart. And so what I did was I started to invest into myself, invest time, energy, and money into quote unquote personally developing myself. And I had read thousands of books, listened to thousands of audio tapes. I went to seminars and workshops, leadership workshops, transformational workshops. I did the certification with Bob Proctor. Shout out to the GOAT. I also did breath work, got certified in breath work. I did coaching. I got certified in different coaching methods, and I had my own like company for coaching. But what I didn't realize is, even though this is pretty funny, even though I had done all of that work, I had spent all of that money, invested all that money, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars into quote unquote personal development, I was still operating out of my BS programs. I was still in my toxic patterns and programs when I met Mr. Don Smith. And so Don, just a little bit of an overview on him. He's worked with the elite of the elite for the last 44 years as he developed this program. And Don had the privilege of working with, for example, several different athletes in 15 different sports at an Olympic level. Not to name drop or whatever, but some people, I mean, this is crazy. Like, um, just to give you like a little example, he's worked with Pat Riley. He's the head coach for the Miami Heat. He's worked with Al Gore, right? Like all of these like high level people, those are the only people he's worked with for the most of his career. And so he hasn't really worked with people like you and I. But he ended up actually meeting Jamie, and Jamie brought him into the ecosystem as of recently. And so we want to share this transformational process with you all. And what it does is it allows you to release the very first moment where you started to dim your light, where you started to self-sabotage, where you started to go in this toxic pattern of self-sabotage. And I know exactly what self-sabotage was because my whole career, even though I did pretty well, where I would get to the top 1% of every company I built except the first one, um, I would always figure out a way to get rid of all of my success, to sabotage my success, to get rid of all of my money, to ruin the relationships. Whatever it was, I figured out a way to self-sabotage. That's how powerful you and I are. We have everything that we need and we self-sabotage it without us even knowing. And so Don he's helped several people, like I said, including the BlackBerry guys, the guys that created the BlackBerries, company called Research in Motion. And these guys were the same thing, right? Like he had helped several billionaires. And one of the billionaires in particular was a guy named Tim. So Tim was I think it had been 6 months. He hadn't talked to his core team. It had been a year since he hadn't talked to his outer team. He had a private jet, like a very expensive private jet. He hadn't flown on that jet for over 6 months because he had crippling anxiety. Tim had five addictions. He was addicted to drugs, alcohol, sex, gambling, and food. And he was going through a divorce. And so Don worked with this guy, Tim, and within 2 hours, that's how long this session takes, Tim was free of all the addictions and his divorce was no longer on the table. And all of these things were back to where they needed to be. So this just goes to show you that it doesn't matter how much money you make, how great of an opportunity you have. If you don't deal with these self-sabotaging programs, you'll find a way to ruin it for yourself. And that's that I'm no different. Like that's exactly what was happening with me. I have a corporate leasing business, I have a traditional business in Dallas, Texas. And for the last 7 months, before I met Dawn, which is the thing about five months ago, I had been traveling all over Southeast Asia. I had been, I literally worked probably like 3 or 4 hours in those 7 months. I was married at the time. We were just traveling, having a good time, living that beach lifestyle. And what ended up happening was, is like, for some reason, I started to have major, major anxiety, depression, and even got to a point where I was having panic attacks and suicidal thoughts. I remember this very clearly being on the 48th floor of my penthouse in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And I never have ever gotten to this point. It was never a thing for me. I'm a very optimistic person, but things were just, I was so lost, confused. I was in such a dark place that I'm considering jumping off of the 48th story, and so it was definitely like one of those things that you need to get to a point where you're sick and tired of being sick and tired for you to finally wake up and be like, yo, like this is enough. I'm ready for something different. And so that's exactly what happened after that moment. There was a couple of incidents where I actually went through a divorce. I went to jail in Bali, Indonesia. And those couple of moments that really took me to the lowest parts of my life emotionally made me think like what is it worth if you have all the money in the world, but like nothing seems to go right, everything feels dark. And so I ended up going to the Philippines where I met Jamie in person, I met Dawn in person, I met Will in person, and I had a transformational experience in just 2 hours. All the addictions that I had, which was marijuana, sex, money, travel, validation, people pleasing, all of these things were completely gone in an instant. And so it's the most freedom I've ever personally had. And I wish that for every single person that is listening or watching this call to have the emotional freedom to actually enjoy whatever or wherever you are in your journey. And then all the other stuff comes. All the other stuff comes, the financial freedom, the time freedom, the location freedom, all that stuff is secondary. And I'll tell you that the money did not shy away. If anything, this process allowed me to have more space in my being to accept more. So, just to give you a little bit of overview, I know I've been spending a lot of time on this specifically, but it's just such a pillar of our ecosystem that I really wanted to drill this in. There's this chart. It's called the consciousness chart. It was out of a book called Power versus Force by Mr. or Dr. David Robert Hawkins. And so what Dr. David Robert Hawkins says is that every single emotion that we experience is on a certain level of calibration or frequency or vibration. You can use those words interchangeably. So if you look at the very bottom, you have shame right here. It's at a level 20. Then you have fear, which is at a level 100. You got courage 200, and then enlightenment is at a 700 to 1,000. And this right here is actually where the great teachers, whether it was Jesus, Buddha, Muhammad, Zoroaster, or any of the great teachers, this is where they were operating out of. And this is the kicker. This vibration, this consciousness level is your natural state. This is yours and I's natural state. Ultimate authenticity standing in your infinite power. That is who you are. That is where you should be. But what ends up happening is there's a moment in time before the age of 7, anywhere from 0 to 7, when you're in your mother's womb, all the way to 7 years of age, your subconscious mind is wide open, and every single experience that you have becomes a program. But there was one moment in time, the very first moment, where you felt unsafe and where you felt like you had to protect yourself, where you started to play small, where you started to go into the sabotage and victim poverty consciousness. And so what, like I said, what Don does is he takes you from wherever you are. And just as a side note, 80% of the entire world's population is under a 210, is under a 210. So imagine getting a 210 out of 1,000 on a test. You got a 21%. Doing that hot, right? So most people, 80%, are actually under this line right here, which this line is the line of integrity. This is where integrity starts. And so where I was personally was at the level of desire, 125 consciousness. So that's why I would get the money, I would get the girl, I would get the whatever, and then I would sabotage it just as quickly because I desired things, but I didn't feel worthy of those things. Okay. And that's also why I had all the addictions. And so wherever you are on this chart, whether you're at a fear or shame or maybe even higher, there's an anchor holding you in these lower frequencies, and Dawn's able to help you release it so you can go to your natural state, which is enlightenment, which is why we call it Divine Phi, because every single person on this call and every single person on this earth is divine. No matter what you've done or didn't do, no matter what what happened in the past, you are divine. And that's also why, as you can tell, we really love our pinks and our purples here, because these are the higher levels of consciousness and frequency. So super awesome. It's really unlike anything that I've ever experienced, and I hope that you make the decision to experience it for yourself. So the next product, which is absolutely amazing, I mean, we're just jumping for joy about this one right here, aren't we, Will? Is the AI crypto trading software. And it is just crazy how we stumbled across this because I have been looking at different softwares over the last few years. Nothing actually seemed legitimate. I didn't use them because it just seemed too sketchy. Same thing for Jamie. He's tested and tried so many different ones and nothing seemed legitimate. And then back a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month now, we were at the crypto expo in Dubai, which is the largest expo for crypto in the world. And we met a guy who had been developing this AI using deep learning capabilities, which just means it just gets better over time. And he had been testing it and developing it since 2017. So Jamie, he's super risk adverse. He's like, okay, let me try it out. Let me test it. After looking at the results, which the guy had shown us the results for the last couple of years and had been doing really, really well. So he ended up testing it, and on average, the AI was doing anywhere between 20 to 50% per month. Now, this is the crazy part. It's only been 10 days. Okay, it's only been 10 days since trying out this crypto trading software, this AI, and it's up 40 freaking percent. 40% hands-free. I mean, where do they do that at? 40% hands-free. I know some guys that are doing 40% a year and they're manually trading. And that's crazy good. Now, this AI in the last 10 days did 40% hands-free. And I've heard of these numbers in the past, but it always seems sketchy because you had to send the company your money. It wasn't in your own like account. But the crazy thing about this is the way that this works is you have your own separate account. For example, right now we're going to be using Kraken, and then you just API, you just like integration into your wallet where they cannot withdraw the money. They can do is just view the account and they can trade the account. You have 100% control of that account. All it's doing is it's using its AI software to trade the money for you. And they're trading USDT and Litecoin, which are the most stable cryptocurrencies. So this is freaking exciting. We're going to open this up for you guys. We were going to wait a little while longer, but it's just doing so good. So many of you guys are just like, yo, when can I get into this? So we're going to start onboarding people starting tomorrow. We have our own onboarding team, so they'll be able to hop on the call with you and get you set up with the software. So that's super exciting. This is definitely some crazy news. So we'll get you the calendar to get set up if you're already in the community. If you're not in the community, we'll show you here in just a little bit how you can get and be a part of it. So let's talk about the networking opportunity here. Okay, so the traditional way of marketing is how billboards, commercials, ads, all of these different ways. So what essentially the network marketing industry is utilizing word of mouth marketing instead of the traditional route. Why? Because they understand, these big companies understand that we are social creatures. We are social. When something works for us or we really like something, we tend to share it. We tend to share it. Okay, for example, Facebook blew up because of word of mouth marketing. I had never seen a billboard for Facebook, but it blew up because we shared it with our friends and family. And now guess what? Mark Zuckerberg, he has a network of over 1 billion people on his platform, and he can now market his products and services too, and that's why he has a multi-billion-dollar company. But the difference is that he never paid us. He never paid the people that helped build this company. But what we do here at Divinfi is we share all of the revenue with you guys because we value you, you're a part of this, you're a partner in this. So we have several different streams of income, and you're going to get paid for all of it. So there is an infinite income potential here in this company and in this industry. Number two, there is weekly residual income. So what that means is you get to do the work one time and you get to get paid for it over and over and over and over. So imagine doing the work one time, whatever your job. I mean, and like just think about if you worked at your job, you did the work one time, you got paid every single week. Like it's pretty mind-blowing, right? Unfortunately, that's not how it works, right? You got to keep clocking in to get paid. But here, if you do the work one time, you can actually get paid many, many times, if not forever. Okay, super cool. So, there are no qualifications or experiences needed here. It doesn't matter if you went to Yale or if you went to jail. Okay, and I've been to jail. I never went to Yale. Right? I barely actually dropped out of college my second year. I mean, we came from a poor family. Didn't get instilled the wealth principles. But I shifted my situation by getting around the right people, right? And so same thing here. By becoming a part of this community, you get access to the right information, the right opportunities, and you can change your entire destiny, your financial destiny, emotional destiny, everything. You can completely shift everything starting today. So the last aspect is that there are team building incentives. So you are in business for yourself, but you're not in business by yourself. You actually have a whole community that is here. And whenever you join Divinfi as a partner, you're not just joining a company, you're joining a community that's dedicated to your success and to your ultimate empowerment. And so one of the things that's really important to note is that when it comes to business, it's always about timing, timing, timing. And you're at the very forefront. If you're watching this live, I just want you to know that you are extremely lucky to be in this information because you're at the start of something that's going to completely revolutionize the entire world. And I'll give you an example of what kind of level and maybe even surpass this. Not maybe, it will surpass this. If you had invested into Apple before it became the number one company in the world, before it was worth $3 trillion as a company, and you had invested in their stock, where would you be now? You'd be worth millions and millions and millions of dollars. Okay. That is exactly the opportunity you have with Divinfi. We are literally touching the tip of the iceberg. We have so many things that we haven't even talked to you guys about. We have so many things we're constantly innovating. And just with what we have right now, this is going to completely change so many people's lives. And you get to be at the very beginning of it. So let's talk about this guy, Mr. Robert Kiyosaki. He wrote a book called The Cash Flow Quadrant. And so there are 4 ways essentially to get paid, right? So you can be an employee, which is trading your time for money, right? You have a job, you clock into that job. Let's say you work 8 hours, you get paid for 8 hours. Now, the second way is being self-employed. You don't have a job, but you actually own a job because if you're not there, you don't get paid. Similar to myself, when I had my car business, if I wasn't on Auto Trader or Cars.com or Craigslist buying cars and actually successfully purchasing the cars, I wasn't getting paid. Okay, so you might have a little bit more leverage as a self-employed business owner, but you don't have complete freedom, and you definitely don't have enough leverage to be able to go on a beach and make money. Now, the third way is becoming a big business owner. So let's take it a step backwards. If you take a look at Mr. Bill Gates, right? This guy has 100,000 employees. Himself and all of his employees have 24 hours in a day, just like you and I, just like every single person on this call viewing this call. We all have 24 hours in a day. So why is Bill Gates a billionaire and why are his employees thousandaires? It's because he has a system. Okay, a system means, or it's an acronym that stands for saving you some time, energy, and money. So he's able to leverage the people in his system and leverage their time and their efforts. So let's do a little bit of math. I don't like math, but it's pretty simple. 100,000 employees times 24 hours in a day, that equals to 240,000 man hours. So Bill Gates doesn't have 24 hours in a day. He's actually leveraging 240,000 man hours. So the question is, how can you, the person viewing this call, create a system where you're leveraging other people's time and efforts? And I'm going to talk about that here shortly. Now, the last way to actually create income is called the investor quadrant. And that just means having your money work for you, right? Instead of you putting time and energy and having other people's time and energy, you're just having your money go out into the workforce and create you more money, which we've talked about here with utilizing some of our financial products. So let's get into it. So like I said, 95% of people use active income, which is the self-employed and the employees, and then 5% use passive income. And you can see that there's obviously a clear difference between these two. So you see these people sitting in traffic, and then you see these people just chilling on a beach, just enjoying their life as money rolls in day after day, hour after hour, week after week, year after year. Okay, very cool. Now, for the people that are veterans in the MLM world, I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but we put the entire plan on the blockchain. So there's going to be a transparent and immutable system. So it's going to prevent manipulation, and it's going to create accurate tracking and rewarding of efforts. There will be smart contracts. So it's automated payments. We're gonna completely get rid of our entire staff and make it completely AI ran. So myself, Will, Jamie, and all the other team members are going to be completely stepping down from our roles and just focusing on this plan, which is the real fun stuff. I really don't care to do the administrative work and the back end work. So we'll have smart contracts doing that. It's going to make sure that we have timely and accurate payments and eliminate human error and fraud. And lastly, what's really cool is that we're going to have secure and fair downline management. So if you build a business, they're going to be in your downline forever. No one can manipulate it. No one can move them. And it's going to ensure that there's integrity and rightful rewards for the people that build the business. So let's talk about it. So doesn't matter what business you're building. For example, I gave this example this morning, right? It was about 5-6 a.m. and I had one of my buddies from Chicago hop on the call. He does car sales. Okay, he's a really good salesman when it comes to his industry of cars. So when you have, like, let's talk about a dealership, they have salespeople, the people that are selling the product, which is the cars, and then they have clients. The clients come in and they buy the cars. A lot of the times these clients are reoccurring clients. You have a book of business, and then someone will buy a car. They'll probably buy another car for their wife, their sister, their child, whatever, right? So any business, their only job is to create a network of quote unquote salespeople, people that are offering the product or the service, and a network of clients. It doesn't matter what business, whether you're doing a product, a service, a membership, whatever, it's all about creating networks. So that's all you ever get paid for. Okay, so same thing here. Okay, so to make it very simple, I'm going to explain a couple of things. You have the rank name, right? So these are the rank names. This is the required team. So this is how many people need to be on your team total. PE stands for personally enrolled per leg. Leg just means team. Personally enrolled per leg. The weekly payout, how much you'll get paid per week, and then the monthly payout, which is the total you're getting paid for the month. Okay? You following? Awesome. I know I talked very quick and I'm going fast, but just try to keep up. If there's any questions, just feel free to ask at the end. Now, the first rank is called inviter. To get to this rank, you need to have 2 people on your left team, 1 person on your right, or 2 people on your right, 1 person on your left. right? And so let me kind of paint this for you. Let's say you're using the products, you're using the AI crypto bot, and you do 40%, just like we did in the last 10 days. If you did 40% on your money in 10 days, guaranteed you're not keeping that to yourself. You're going to tell other people about it. I mean, most of the time you go and watch a good movie, you go and tell somebody about it. You go to and have a nice dinner with your girlfriend or your wife or your whatever, you are telling people about that place. We're naturally social and we like to share things that help us, that work for us, okay? So when this works for you, what are you going to do? You're going to go and share it with other people. And whenever you have two memberships on your left team, one on your right, only one needs to come from you on your left and one needs to come on your right. Meaning, let's say your mom on your left side, your dad is on your right side. You only brought in two, but you need three total. So let's say the person that brought you in, they're going to continuously keep bringing people in. Like, for example, I've already brought in 17 people into this ecosystem. I'm going to guaranteed keep bringing people in. So let's say you brought your mom or your dad. The next person that I bring in, I got to put them on one of my legs. So I'm going to put them underneath you. And now you have three total, right? Two on your left, one on your right. That's $25 a week, $100 a month. Pretty simple. So what's really cool is right now we have a promotion. Normally, for each personally enrolled, so let's say you brought in your mom and your dad, on top of this weekly payout, you're going to get a one-time bonus of $50 per person. But from now, which is June 20th, all the way to August the 1st, we're going to double up your one-time bonus. Instead of giving you $50, we're giving you $100 per personally enrolled. Pretty freaking sweet. So you got paid $200 for bringing these two people in, and then you're getting paid $25 a week, which is a total of $300. Let's say you did this in your first month. That's $300 that you just earned just for inviting your two people. Okay, pretty awesome. Now, next rank, connector 200. Same, you only have these two. Once you teach them how to do what you did, right? Meaning you taught your mom and your dad how you brought your two, and they do the exact same thing. Now we have four on your left, four on your right. That's 8 total. You're gonna get a bonus. Okay, so you're gonna jump the rank. Now you're gonna be getting paid $50 a week plus, so 50 a week is $200 a month plus a one-time rank bonus, meaning whenever you hit this rank, you get a bonus, a one-time rank bonus of $200. Okay, pretty freaking cool. So that's on top of whatever else you earn from this, from getting here. Okay, so let's say you did this in your first month. So let's say you got paid the 200 here. That's $200, and then you got to this rank, and you did this in your first month. So that's another 200. 200 plus 200 is 400, plus a one-time rank bonus of 200. That's $600 in your first month. Now, next rank, connector 500, 10 on your left, 10 on your right. You only brought in those two, which is your mom and your dad. That's $125 a week, $500 a month. When you get to this rank, we give you a one-time rank bonus of 500 smackaroos. Okay, so let's say you did this in your first month, $500 that you earned here, plus an extra 500 for the rank bonus. That's $1,000 plus the 200 plus the 200. That's about $1,400 minimum. Okay. All right, so it's starting to get really juicy. You're only at the third rank. You've already made $1,400 if you did this in your first month. Now, connector 900, 20 on your left, 20 on your right. And just to clarify, you don't necessarily have to bring in all of these memberships, right? Let's say you bring in Jamie, and you bring in myself, and we go absolutely crazy. All of those memberships, all of that volume counts towards your teams. Okay. So, I mean, even if let's say your mom and your dad, right, they go out and kill it. They got 20 people here, 20 people here. All of that counts towards your rank accomplishment. Okay. So That's what you got to realize. It's not about who you know, it's about the people that you know that they know. Because every dud knows a stud, right? You just never know who you're going to run into that's going to absolutely blow up the business for you. And that's happened to me so many times. It's just crazy, the power of this plan. So 20 on your left, 20 on your right, $225 a week. That's $900 a month. When you hit this rank, or once you hit this rank, you're going to get a rank bonus of $900 one time. Pretty freaking crazy. It's starting to get really wild at this point. You get a rank bonus of 900 plus the 900, that's 1800 plus 500 plus 200 plus the 200, right? It starts to get wild, okay? I'm not going to go too much into this, but just to give you a little bit of how this can really start to multiply. Now, what are you doing? Even if you're just teaching them what you did, right? You only brought two in. You only brought two in. You teach them how to get two, they teach them how to get two. Once you're at 40 on your left, 40 on your right, to hit this rank, one thing changes is that you need to bring two personally enrolled on each leg. So let's say up until here, you had one on your left, one on your right, your mom, your dad. Now you're gonna bring in your mother, I mean your brother and your sister. Okay, so that's two on your left, two on your right. Out of those four, out of these 40 on each leg, you only brought four. So out of 80 total memberships, you only brought four. You're getting paid $375 a week, $1,500 a month. And so Will is actually on this call. He's the COO here at Divinfi, and it's crazy because I heard this story not long ago. When Jamie met Will, they were building a company similar to this as far as like the compensation plan, and he had only brought in, I think, 3 people or 4 people, something like that. And after 3 months, he went from earning $300 at a call center to earning $1,500 in this plan. So he more than 5x his income. And all he did was he introduced like 3 or 4 people into the plan, and that turned into 40 on his left team, 40 on his right team, and he was making $1,500 a month. So it's pretty crazy what can happen in this. And even let's say you're in the US or in America or in Canada, an extra $1,500 a month, that can definitely help, right? That's rent, that's groceries, that's car insurance, stuff like that. So what's cool is here, once you hit the rank and you hold it for 2 months, you're going to get a one-time rank bonus of $1,500. Same thing here, right? You get $750 a week, $3,000 a month. When you hold it for 2 months, $3,000 one-time bonus, and so on and so forth. Networker 5K, 200, 5,000 a month, one-time bonus of 5K. Same thing, speaker 9K, 15K, 25K, 50, 75. So for each rank, you get a one-time rank bonus of whatever the monthly payout is. So if it's 9,000, you get a $9,000 bonus one time. If it's 15,000, you get a one-time bonus of 15,000. 100,000, you get a one-time bonus of $100,000. Pretty crazy, if you ask me. So what's really cool, and just to give you a story and an example of how this can actually happen for you, because some people, they get in their head and like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. So I'll tell you what I told one of my friends, Tiffany, when she got started with me in a business opportunity that was nowhere near as good as this 8 years ago. So Tiffany was 21 years of age. She was earning less than $2,000 a month, and she was a waitress, right? So she wasn't making that good money. And so she got started in the business, and she's like, look, I trust you. I want to build this business. I don't know how I'm going to do it, because she was actually very much an introvert, which I am as well. I know it doesn't sound like it, but I'm definitely more of an introvert, at least most of the time. And she was like, look, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but if you teach me, then I'll do it. And I said, look, Tiffany, you don't need to present. You don't need to share this info yourself. All you have to be good at is inviting, right? Because this is what one of my mentors told me. He said the person that gets the most butts in the seats is the one that will make the most money. So you just need to get people to view the information, whether it's here on Zoom or whether it is in a personal meeting. So Tiffany took that to heart. She starts dialing, starts calling people, and started to invite people. Well, long story short, After 3 months, Tiffany went from earning $2,000 at her waitress job to earning over $15,000 every single month for I don't know how long, maybe the next year or so, maybe more after. I think at 6 months she hit 20,000, whatever. She never did a single presentation until 9 months into the business. Her mom, same thing. Her mom was working at a warehouse, earned over $10,000 in the business. Her uncle barely came from Vietnam, ended up earning over $10,000 a month in the business, and all three of them didn't do any kind of presentations for at least like 9 months. So all you need to do is invite people into this community to view the information. We have many tools. We're creating some more tools where we have a sizzle video coming out, by the way, Mr. LK. So that'll be done soon. So we can start to send these and utilize the systems and the tools so that they can work on your behalf rather than you trying to explain this yourself. Okay. So one thing I want to note, there's something special about this rank right here. It's called Speaker 25K. This is the very first rank where you start to get what is called a share in the global pool bonus. So what this is all of the volume in the entire world. We're going to take 1% of that and we're going to put it into a global pool bonus. And every single person that is at Speaker 25K will get one share of the global pool. Okay, so that's really exciting, especially as we grow this thing. And the reason why we did that is that we want to incentivize you to work with one another. It doesn't matter if you're cross lines, up lines, down lines, whatever. You're eventually, when you get to this level of leadership, then you start to really get a percentage of all of the global sales. So when you hit Speaker 25, you get one share, and once you hit Master 750K, you get two shares. Okay. So pretty freaking cool. And as you see, the weekly payout gets crazier and crazier. Here on this page, it gets to $1 million. And same thing, you get a one-time bonus of 250, 500, 750, 1 million. The only difference is that here at $1 million, it's going to be split into 6 payments. And the same thing for the 2 million and the 4 million. So pretty freaking cool. We literally do have unlimited income. And as people start to hit these higher ranks, we'll open up some more ranks. But what do you get for the membership? So you're going to get the Swiss fund, which is valued at 200,000 because the minimum is $200,000 to get started. You're going to get access to the crypto fund because the minimum is 50,000 to get started. You're going to get the international debit card for both crypto and fiat. And the reason why we valued it at this point was because of all of the benefits that you get and the reward systems that we're creating and all that. So it's absolutely amazing. Now we get the AI crypto trading software, which is going to be open, like I said, tomorrow. The minimum is 100,000 in this one, so that's why we valued it 100,000. And then Incomeversity is 55,000. Reason why we valued it at 55,000 is because we took a look at the differences in the price in like MBAs, right? So a major in business administration, which not to shit on anyone with an MBA, but it's really just a glorified accountant. I think we give a much better MBA with Incomeversity. It's not a major in business administration. It is a massive bank account. And so that's why we valued it at the lowest level of MBA. And then we have Don's transformation, which, like I said, some people have paid this guy $1 million for a one-on-one session. But personally, for what he's done for me, I think it's absolutely priceless. So the total value in the membership, which we're adding some more stuff to this. So, it's pretty wild how much value we're giving you guys. The total value is $407,500. $407,500. But you're not getting it for $407,500. You're only getting it for $149 startup, $99 a month. And I mean, it gets crazy. If you take even one of these, this is by far way more affordable than anything that you would get on one of these products. We're giving you all of these for only $99 a month. So thank you so much for being here. I got a couple of last slides. If you want to get started, make sure that you get back to the person that invited you to this call to view this information and ask for their unique link so that way they can get credit. And like I said, Divinfi is more than just a financial system. It is a movement towards financial freedom and personal empowerment. So don't miss your chance to be a part of the biggest launch in history. We got a couple more promotions. So for all the people that are really running, what we're going to do is for the people that get 10 personally enrolled 10 directs, they're going to get a brand new GoPro. For anyone that gets 20 directs, you get a brand new iPhone. And for anyone gets 30 directs, they get a brand new MacBook. So this will run from now until August the 15th. That's about a little less than 16 days. So it doesn't matter how many people, even if we have 100 people hit this 30 directs, we're going to give 100 MacBooks. If we have 100 people hit the 20 directs, we're going to give 100 iPhones. And if you have 100 people hit 10 directs, we're giving 100 GoPros. So let's get it. Let's run this promotion up. I want to see everybody winning these awesome prizes. And then the last promotion that we have is if you hit connector 1500, no matter how many directs you get, even if it's the minimum, you get a 3-day, 2-night stay at the hotel where we're having our event. You don't want to miss out on this. We got some awesome guests, some legends in the industry that we're looking to get on to come to the event. It's definitely going to be worth the trip, regardless if you win the promo or not, but definitely try to make it and win the promo so we can pay for your stay at the hotel. Now, if you hit connector 3000, we're going to give you an all-inclusive flight, hotel, and then VIP access to the event for all connector 3000s and above. And so I'm excited to meet you all, give you a big old hug, and just be there with you as we build this amazing ecosystem. And just a little overview around Don's transformation. He does his new clients every Tuesday, and then existing clients are every single Thursday. This is going to be at 5 a.m. Dubai time. So that's, I believe, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. And so if you haven't done this, definitely make sure to do it. And if you've already done it and you're an existing client, make sure that you are going to be, going to his Thursday, because it just helps you hold this high level of consciousness. And if you want to stay connected, scan this QR code and I'll have all of our social media handles, and that way you stay up to date on all things Divinfi. Thank you so much for watching this and staying to the end of this presentation. I'm super excited, and yep, we'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. And we actually have another session here in 5 a.m. Actually, I think that's gonna be Dawn. So Dawn's call will be at 5 a.m. So 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern for all of the existing clients. I'll see you guys for overview call here in about 23 hours. So thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you guys next time.